You ever see something so old, so mysterious, that it feels like it's looking back at you? Listen, I'm not talking about some dusty museum piece behind glass. I'm talking about artifacts buried deep in the earth, hidden for centuries. Objects that might not just tell a story, they might still hold a power we can't explain. I need you to stay with me here, because what I'm about to share isn't the kind of thing you read in a history book. These are discoveries that archaeologists are up thinking are cool. It's just an ancient tool or weird statue. But then the tests start coming back strange. Batteries that still hold a charge after 2,000 years. Weapons forged from metals we don't have the technology to recreate. Older than our oldest civilizations that show landmasses we didn't even know existed. And yeah, some people say it's all a coincidence. But others, well, they think someone or something left these here on purpose. Now picture this. It's 1901. Greek sponge divers are out in the Aegean Sea when one of them comes up gasping, not from lack of air, but because he's seen something in a shipwreck that doesn't belong. They pull it up. A hunk of corroded bronze about the size of a shoebox. For decades, it just sits there, scientists poking at it, calling it a curiosity. But then X-rays in the 1950s reveal gears, perfectly cut, interlocking gears, and not just a couple, dozens. They realize it's a machine, and not just any machine, it's basically a computer from 2,000 years ago. Capable of predicting eclipses, tracking planets, even telling you when the next Olympic Games would be held. This thing, the Antikythera mechanism, shouldn't exist. Not then, not with the tools they had. And yet, there it was, rusted, broken, still holding secrets. And here's where it gets creepy. Because when you realize that one of our most advanced machines didn't appear in the 1800s, or even the 1500s, but 2,000 years ago, you have to wonder, how many more are out there? And if these ancient engineers had this kind of tech, where did they learn it? Jump to South America, 1930s. A pilot's flying over the Peruvian desert when he looks down and almost crashes from shock. Etched into the ground below, massive drawings, spiders, monkeys, straight lines that go for miles, perfect geometric shapes that can only be seen from the air. The Nazca lines. Nobody can figure out how they were made with such precision without flight. Some locals believe they were landing strips for gods. Others think they're messages, huge billboards for whoever's watching from the sky. And here's the kicker. Ground tests show that parts of the soil were fused, like it was exposed to intense heat. Heat we couldn't generate easily without industrial tools, in the middle of a desert over 1,000 years ago. Yeah, let that sink in. But not all artifacts are stuck in the ground. Some are passed hand to hand, hidden from the public, like the Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513 by a Turkish admiral. It shows the coasts of South America and Africa with perfect accuracy. Okay, fine, maybe sailors explored more than we thought. But here's the weird part. It also shows Antarctica, without ice, which means the original source map had to be from a time before Antarctica froze over. Scientists say that would have been thousands of years ago, way before human civilization was supposed to have that kind of cartography. So either history's wrong, or someone was mapping the Earth long before we came along. I know some of you are rolling your eyes. You're thinking, all right, cool stories, but probably just lucky guesses or misread data. And maybe that's true. But then you see stuff like the Baghdad battery, a clay jar with a copper cylinder inside, dated to around 200 BC. You fill it with vinegar or lemon juice, and bam, it works as a battery. Now, why would ancient people need a battery? We're told electricity wasn't discovered until thousands of years later. So were they powering something? Lights? Electroplating jewelry? Or something we haven't even considered? And I can't stop thinking about one particular artifact, something that still creeps me out. It's called the Shroud of Turin. A cloth with the image of a man burned into it, dating back centuries. People argue over whether it's real, whether it shows Jesus or just some random guy. But here's the weirdest part. Scientists have no idea how the image got there. It's not paint, not dye. Under certain light, it's like a photographic negative, made long before cameras existed, and tests show the image was created in a burst of radiation. How's that even possible without modern tech? These discoveries, they mess with your sense of time. They make you wonder if the story we've been told about human history is just the prologue. Maybe there were civilizations that rose and fell long before Egypt, long before Mesopotamia, civilizations with knowledge that would look like magic to us today. And you might be asking, okay, so what? We find old stuff all the time, true. But here's the thing, they keep finding more. Under the ice in Greenland, at the bottom of the ocean, in caves we thought were empty. And every time it's like pulling a thread that leads deeper and deeper into a version of history that doesn't match the textbooks. Let me tell you about one last find, something that still gives me goosebumps. In 2013, divers off the coast of India found ruins 120 feet underwater in the Gulf of Cambay. We're talking full streets, walls, artifacts and carvings. The city's estimated to be over 9,000 years old. That's older than the pyramids, older than Stonehenge. If that's true, it changes everything we think we know about when humans built cities. It means there was an entire chapter of civilization erased by rising seas, just gone. And maybe, just maybe, some of the so-called myths we tell, Atlantis, lost golden cities, aren't myths at all. Here's where it gets personal for me. Every time I read about this stuff, I imagined some ancient person holding these objects, using them every day, never thinking they'd be lost to time. And now they're here, in our hands, making us question everything. These artifacts, they're not just dusty relics. They're whispers, clues, maybe warnings, and the scariest thought, what if we're the next civilization to vanish, leaving our own impossible artifacts for someone else to puzzle over in 10,000 years? So here's my challenge to you. Next time you hear about some new archaeological discovery, don't just skim past it. Dig into it, ask why, ask how, look at the things we can't explain yet, and remember that once we were the mystery. And hey, if you want me to keep diving into this stuff, the weird, the unexplainable, the things that make you sit up at night thinking, what if, you know what to do. Smash that like button so hard the algorithm wakes up. Drop your wildest theory in the comments and subscribe with the bell on so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, the next story I've got for you, yeah, it's gonna blow your mind.